and child protective services, and they won't give them back to their loving families because they're making money.
This is a legal system that you're going into. And if you don't know the rules, you will be chewed up and spit out.
If I could say anything to a mother who just got their children detained, you're in a crisis. Yeah. Life feels like it's over. The most important thing is regaining custody of your children.
The child welfare system at its core is designed to protect children who need protection. Okay, and that's key, is who need protection.
So social workers, out of fear, will remove more children rather than only remove those children that truly need to be removed.
It's okay. It's okay.
This isn't someone stole your car. Someone broke into your house. This someone took your child, your flesh and blood.
It doesn't say on this order that it was not proven. It says untrue. I immediately knew that, okay, well, this ain't over.
Were there signs there? Were there no signs? Did I miss them? Did I catch them? At this point, I honestly don't know.
Families only get a finite amount of time to reunify.
I came into this field to help families, not destroy them.
The difference between the criminal system and the child welfare system is substantial. You have more rights as a criminal than you do as a parent.
Hello and good evening, everyone. My name is Sabrina. I'm your host for Fight CPS with Sabrina. How are you doing, dear? You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Tasha.
Hey. So you have a story for us, yeah?
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff that I've been through the last 13 years. I've been fighting with them back and forth and trying to, make sure my home's safe and make sure my children are safe.
Yeah. So do you want to just start at the beginning?
I had my first child at 18.
Okay.
And I had CPS in the birthing room after I gave birth. They're like, oh, wow, do you hear things? Do you see things? I'm like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I know a whole bunch of people through the military, because I did Navy Sea Cadet Corps. And I knew a lot of ensigns and XOs and stuff like that. So I'm like, I can prove that I know these people. I'll call them right now in front of you. So I ended up calling everybody. And they still opened the case on for no reason. They never told me why it was open. They never even explained what was going on. Besides for, well, you are a young mother and, you just had him at 18. I'm like, okay, but that has nothing to do with why you people are in my life. And they continued in my life and they put me in wraparound. I don't know if you know what that is or not.
Oh, actually.
It's like a program where a lady comes out to your house and she teaches you how to parent.
Okay.
And how to bathe the baby and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll do that. That's fine. Well, I left my son with my child's father and they called the CPS worker and told them that I abandoned him in the home. Oh. And I had to go and get my child from the home because, they're saying that I abandoned him and I left him with nobody. And it was his grandparents and his father was in the home. And they still tried to say that I abandoned him. I'm like, there was no abandonment. We had agreement. The worker that I went to my therapist with told him, look, I had her We asked them if they wanted to watch the child or if she needed to take him, and they said that they would watch him. So there was like arguments about who was supposed to be where everybody was. You know what I'm saying? And they still continue to believe these people about me leaving him. I couldn't even leave my child with his father without them saying that I abandoned him. How is that abandonment if he knows that he's watching the child?
How long was he with the dad when this happened?
Maybe 5 minutes. And
Oh,
before I got a phone call from the worker, like I literally left the house, packed up his stuff for him to have for while I was gone, because I had a diaper bag, a big diaper bag, enough for him to be with him while I was gone. And I left the house, and I got maybe halfway down the street, and I got a phone call saying that I was abandoning my child.
who called them? Do you happen to know?
It was the grandparents, I believe.
That's what I thought. Okay. So,
And
not allowed to leave your child with his father? Like, what does
right,
that mean?
that's what I asked. I said, "What do you mean?" He knew that I was leaving him, or they knew that I was leaving him with them, him and the grandparents. And they're like, "Oh no, we didn't. We didn't call him and tell him that you left him there. They're lying. We don't know what he's talking about." I'm like, "Well, why would he call me and tell me that, that I'm leaving my child with him or without permission?" You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I'm leaving him with his dad, and I shouldn't have to have permission. But
Right.
they said that I needed permission from his father to leave him with him, even though that's his biological father.
Was he underage?
No.
No. Wow, that's really strange.
And his parents were in the house too.
Was this the grandparents' way of trying to get custody?
Hmm.
Okay.
I believe so, because before I had my son, they were telling me that he was supposed to be come out to form and have a cliff lip. Once I didn't believe that, they said he was supposed to have a nub for his arm. I don't know what the technical term is for that. And because I was going to their OBGYN. So I was kind of trusting them about it. I'm only 17, 18 years old. I don't know a lot about OBs, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're just constantly saying that I was doing things. Oh, she's not bathing them right. Calling the workers saying I'm not bathing them right. I'm not doing this right. I'm not doing that right. They took my son baby bottles because I only bought, when you're a first time mom, you only buy expensive bottles. So bought the Dr. Brown bottles, and they
Those are the ones
took their bottles, and said that her bottles were my bottles, and her bottles had mold in them, and mine didn't. And I'm like, well, you watched me boil his bottles, you watched me take care of his bottles, and how all of a sudden when I move in with them, I'm gonna stop doing that. Why would I do that? What sense does that make? And they're like, well, it was reported, so we have to look into the case. And I'm like, okay, well, it was a bullshit lie. And there shouldn't be another case open. Well, they keep on calling and saying that you're doing all this stuff, and we're having to come out here and make sure you're not doing it. I'm like, well, how are you going to tell me that I'm okay and start trying to close the case and then open up another case and then try to open up the next case because you already found out that case was wrong, and then keep on doing this back and forth? How many cases am I going to have until you figure out that he's lying?
Yeah.
And even now they're using it against me because one of my exes left a weapon out, and his child hurt herself very badly. And they're like, well, you have 32 cases calling on you. I'm like, Yeah, because his parent, my ex parent, my first child's parents wanted my son.
Cases or
And
allegations?
allegations.
Okay.
Well, both. They said cases and allegations, like combining them together.
Can we actually rewind for just a sec? In the very beginning, when the social worker took your child, like right when you gave birth, what did the paperwork say? Because I know you said that they wouldn't tell you why, but what did the paperwork say?
I didn't even get paperwork on that. I don't even remember getting paperwork.
They
I
just
know
give them no reason, no paperwork, nothing?
nothing.
Oh my gosh. And what did they tell you to do once they took him?
Well, they didn't take him. They put me under supervision
Okay.
with my aunt and was saying that they were going to take him because they thought that I was unfit at birth. But once they started knowing that I knew all the people that I knew, and everybody's like, no, that's not how she acts. I don't know what was questioned, but I know that they did talk to people that I knew. Like I know a CNN or RN, let me get it correct. A RN and a US Marshal. And my US Marshal friend is a pastor, so he's my pastor slash US Marshal friend. And then my friend from church is a RN, and she was running the hospital at the time that I gave birth. So I told them to look into her name, and I gave them their name. And they said that it all checked out, I guess. And they started leaving me alone, but they just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to hurt the baby.
Okay. So they didn't take the baby away at that point?
No.
Okay.
They did not take it.
Okay. Sorry.
But they kept coming into my life.
Okay. And when they said that you were unfit or whatever, were they going off of your age, or what made them come up with that?
Off of my age.
Okay. I had a baby at 17, and to be honest, I had no social workers, no questions, nothing. So it really just drives me nuts when I hear this, because they're taking advantage of women who are young in hopes that, they're going to be intimidated and do whatever the worker says. Sorry you had to go through that. So, okay, fast forward. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So, go ahead and tell me where you were at before. Had your friends and the pastor and everyone get cleared by CPS. They told you it checks out. Then what?
So they started saying that I had to look out for my mental health because my doctor took me off all my medicine because I'm borderline bipolar. And they're like, well, you got to get back on your medications. And I'm like, why? I'm doing fine without them. And I don't feel that I need them. And I was okay without them. And they're like, well, you still have to be on medications. I'm like, why? I'm fine. I'm not doing anything bad. I'm like, I'm not getting arrested. I'm not getting in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And his family just kept calling on me, saying that I was leaving my son by himself. I wasn't bathing him or washing his bottles of soap. And at that time, like I said, I was using Dr. Brown bottles.
Yeah.
And I was OCD because they have that little spinny thingy. I don't know what it's called, like toothbrush thing. You know what I'm talking about?
You mean to clean it with, or the inside of the bottle?
The little cleaner thing.
Oh yeah, the bottle.
The metal, yeah, the bottle brush.
Yeah.
Well, I had a little metal one, and I cleaned it with that, and then I made sure around the rings were clean because I seen that his mom's rings were getting mold and stuff on them, and I didn't want my child drinking moldy milk. That's gross. So she was trying to show them that, and I'm like, that's gross. And you watched me boil my bottles 4 times, and I mean, I know it sounds compulsive, but I really didn't want bacteria in my kids' formula.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, she's saying you're not washing them and you're not taking care of them. I'm like, well, when the other worker comes over, she sees me taking care of them. She watches me change them. She watches me interact and try to get them to roll over and everything. At that age, I'm like, I still do tummy time because I started my son out young doing tummy time just because I want to build up his muscles and everything,
That's great.
And I'm like, I made sure I only ate or took in vegetables, and I took extra vitamins for him, made sure he had omega-3s and everything for him to have. Um, they say that omega-3s help your thinking and help you learn quicker.
Yeah.
I know it sounds like a lot, but I did a lot of things for him to make sure he was healthy.
Yeah.
I wanted to give a healthy baby, and I made sure he had everything he needed. And they're like, all right, after a year, they closed the case, I think it was, of watching me so closely with him and
Okay.
seeing that they couldn't find, because before that, my mom just told me today that the police came to my front door at my mom's house because they couldn't find me because I left them because his parents were acting crazy trying to take my baby and wanting to adopt him and name him blah 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 junior. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I want my baby. I'm keeping my baby.
Yeah.
So years go by and they're just calling and calling and calling. Well, now I have 32 cases and they're trying to go back on those cases and say because I got 32 cases called on me that they want to remove my children because of the accident that happened. One of my exes left a weapon in the house and his daughter shot herself. And I understand I should have been more visual about everything, but at the time I have endometriosis and I was supposed to have surgery and have stuff removed out of my body. And I just couldn't get him to come home and stay home and take care of everybody while I went and had that surgery. So they're trying to say it's my fault and I've already been charged with neglect and abuse because of it, even though under criminal law, because it was his weapon and his stuff, that he's getting charged. But their family court's trying to charge me through the family court abuse and neglect, even though they know that I was trying to run from my ex, which was telling me he was going to kill me. And I moved out of state, and Michigan called me back, told me, hey, you have to do visitation rights right now after they granted a PPO on me.
Okay. Wow. So
I mean, well, it's a lot, but I just don't know what to say.
Yeah, no. So if I heard you right, they're basically charging you with child neglect or child endangerment because of the weapon that wasn't yours. And have they removed the kids from you? Do you still have them?
Yes, they waited 2 months before removing my children out of my home.
How many kids, can I ask?
I have 2 children.
2. Okay. So they removed the children. Where are they now? Are they with a family member?
One's with my mother and one's with my abusive ex. That I moved. Yes.
Okay.
There's police reports. There's a PPO that I had put on him, and I moved to Arkansas to get away from them. But Michigan said if I didn't come back, they were going to place a warrant out for my arrest.
And to come back for what? To come back and fight in family court for these charges, or yeah?
Yeah, to fight family court to see if he should get visitations or not.
And you mean the one that's abusive?
Yeah.
And you do have record proving that he was abusive, you said?
Yes.
And what do the workers say about this?
Oh, well, that happened 7 years ago.
So they always put the kids with the abuser. You know, it's so annoying how they keep getting away with doing that. You know,
that's the reason why I got with the man that I was with is to get away from him because he started telling me he was going to kill us again. And I'm like, it's suspicious that I had a German Shepherd, okay, Border Collie mix. He told me he was going to slice the dog's neck off and put it on my front porch.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. That's scary.
Yeah.
So I'm told the workers, I'm like, he told me he's going to slice this dog's neck open and put it on my front porch. That's why I moved to Arkansas. And the dog did come up missing. Never found its body.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding me. And what did it say about this?
Oh, well, there's nothing we can do. But the dog came up missing. And, okay, a dog is half a baby size. And I'm having a 2-year-old, or I'm pregnant at the time. And this dog comes up missing. And he's telling me he's going to kill us. And I have a 5 or 6-year-old at the time. My children are 6 years apart. I have a 13-year-old and a 7-year-old.
Okay.
And the dog comes up missing, and no one's seen it. I asked all my neighbors, have you seen my dog? I went up to the dog pound because it was right next door to us almost. It was a walking distance. Here's a picture of my dog. Have you seen it? No, we didn't get no call. We haven't seen it. No one's called the dog in.
What about the police department? Did you call them?
I did call them and I told them that my dog's missing and I don't know what happened. And my boyfriend keeps on coming because at the time I had to stay with him because I got scared because he was telling me this. So I kept him at arm's distance. And I told the cops, I'm like, he's telling me he's going to kill my dog. My dog's now gone. This is suspicious to me. My house has been shot up before he came back because we were breaking up, coming back together, breaking up. And the reason why I kept letting him back in is because my door kept on being broken into or my house got shot up.
Okay.
So the cops are going, oh, well, we don't have no proof that it's him. But he's telling me he's going to do these things to me. Look, he keeps telling me that he's going to hurt us. He's told the workers that he was going to kill them. And you guys are still not concerned about this? Now animals came up missing. Well, it's an animal. Animals run away all the time. There's nothing we can do.
Somebody threatened to kill them, you know? That's just too much. Like, that's an obvious... If he just told you that he was going to do that and then the dog goes missing, what's going to happen next?
And that's what I told him. I said, this is my point. And I'm like, and you guys aren't even concerned. And they finally arrested him after he choked me and tried to pull my Siberian apart. They went and arrested him, and that's how I got away. I went to a women's shelter, and I'm like, look, he said that he's going to kill me. He's already tried ripping my C-section apart. I'm scared for my life. He's told me that he's going to kill my son and take our daughter. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And the judge did grant that PTO. And that's when I moved down to Arkansas because of it. Because he was scaring me and his friends were coming over, which also threatened our lives. So they're like, oh, I'm making sure no one's in your house. I'm making sure you're not cheating on him. And I'm like, well, I don't want him back here. He keeps on hitting me and trying to do violent acts on me. And they're like, you know what you were getting into? I said, I did not know I was getting into something like that. I just knew that, like, we met and I slept with him and he was supposed to go home the next day. And then he ended up moving to South Bend because he wasn't acting that way, and then he slowly showed his colors.
Yep, that's usually how it works.
Yeah, and I was not happy with what his colors were. He started threatening my family. Even when I moved down to Arkansas, he followed my brother from my mom's house to the gas station and said, where's your sister? Where's your sister at? I want to see your sister and my kid. And my brother's like, She moved. I don't know where she's at. She hasn't called me. Well, I have papers for her. Well, but this isn't enough to keep these workers, to tell them that he's dangerous, that he's telling me that he's gonna harm us.
Yeah.
That's not enough.
Right.
And now my daughter's coming home. So and so hit me. Blah 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 hit me. Daddy hit me 3 times. Blah 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 grabbed me by the arms and pushed me in the corner. And my daughter was supposed to be a stillborn or die after she was born, because her carbon dioxide tube and her oxygen tube, there was a hole in it connecting the two. And they said either they were going to do surgery, they were going to have to do CPR no matter what, but they were going to have to do surgery and try to heal it up, or she was going to die. Well, neither of those things happened, but I'm still on the, is there a hole in there? Maybe it's too small for them to see. Can they hurt? One of my good friends from elementary had a hole in her heart, and she has seizure problems. So I think that my kid could get scared and have a seizure because there might be a hole in her heart. And the doctors even told me, yeah, you should be concerned and you can have it looked at, and it's okay to feel that way because of what you were told.
Okay. So when you moved officially to get away from the abuser, what was your standing with CPS at that point?
I didn't have no contact.
But did you have an open case? Were they trying to be in it? No, you were good.
No,
so
I wasn't.
You moved away from the abuser, and then how did you end up back in the system again?
My ex, like I said, my ex left a gun out, and his daughter shot herself.
Oh, she shot herself?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how old?
She was 3 years old at the time, and I feel horrible about it, but at the same time, I was really sick, like I said, with endometriosis, and I was trying to have him come home. I was calling him, hey, I'm sick. I need you to take care of the kids. Please come home. Please come home. Please come home. I'm sick. I need you home. Well, everybody goes, well, why didn't you call CPS? I don't believe in calling CPS on people.
No, don't
because
ever.
I don't know what this turnout can be, and I'm not that type of person. I'm the type, I'll call you until you pick up, or I'll wait and try to hold my own until, it's where I can't do it no more.
Right.
And I was having my friend come and pick me up because I was going to drop the girls off, his 2 daughters off at his grandmother's house that day, and take me and my children and get my cards because I get Social Security. So I was going to go get my Social Security card, my child support card, my son's Social Security because he's on Social Security, get all of our cards together and figure out something. Because I couldn't deal with it no more. I could not handle not being able to have surgery. And the judge is always looking at me saying, well, why didn't you have the dad see him? My first baby daddy is a drug addict. My second baby daddy keeps telling me he's going to kill me. So what am I supposed to do with that? Like, where do you go from there?
Yeah. What did they tell you?
Well, you should have figured something out.
That's not very helpful, is it?
Right. I don't get no help. Well, have you learned anything? I said, yeah, next time I guess I have to call the police or CPS to come get the kids. I mean, I don't want to do that. I'm not that type of person. I don't call on people. Even if, I don't care if your kid has bugs in their hair, I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to help you out and buy the shampoo and clean out the kid's hair. I'm going to make sure your kid has clean clothes.
It's just unreal. So she shot herself. Is she okay, first of all?
I don't know. They're saying supposedly she's brain dead. I don't see her. I don't talk to them because of what happened. I just go zero contact. And I tried to hold my emotion about it back because I don't want to end up looking too weak
Right.
or
Wait,
too
is it his daughter or yours?
his.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so she accidentally shoots herself. What? The police get called. They take him. They take her. And what about your kids? Do they step in at that point and take your kids as well? Because of
Well, no. Well, yes and no. When she shot herself, I was there with my daughter and his two girls.
Mhm.
My son was with him.
Okay.
And that's why I said my friend was supposed to come pick us up. Excuse me. And I was gonna drop his two girls off at his grandma's house and go pick up my son and figure it out from there. Because I couldn't take care of them like I couldn't take care of them like I felt I should be able to take care of them, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I'm sick, I'm throwing up, I'm having my bowels want to come out of me, you
Yeah.
know. I'm just like, I don't want to explain too much because if I get graphic, it gets gross. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was a bad situation. It was really bad for me. And I keep on telling the judge, I'm like, look, I was sick. I can't be like, hey, sickness, come back tomorrow. I can only do what can do while, I can't. And I feel terrible she found on that. I wish that he would have never left it there. I didn't even know it was there. That's my whole thing. I can tell you not to leave some because our agreement was you don't leave any of your weapons out. You keep them in your safe or I'm person or in the car because I have bipolar. I can't own the weapon. So
Right.
you have to be in charge of your stuff.
Right. And were these like registered licensed weapons to him?
They were all registered in his name.
That's
I didn't mess with them, and I told him, I'm like, I want nothing to do with these things.
Yeah.
Not one thing at all to do with them. And he's trying to say that I did, and I'm like, no, I told you no.
Is it
I told you keep them locked up.
weapon over because you were being threatened by baby daddy?
Yeah, that's why I got with him.
No, I mean that's why the gun was there at that point, or
no, it was more of I wanted to have a man in my life to feel safe. You get what I'm?
Yeah.
I didn't want them in the house. Okay, I wanted him to control them so I could feel safe.
Right.
So I could keep my family safe.
Makes sense.
Because I didn't want nothing to do with him. I just wanted him to be a man and protect my home, or protect the home.
Right. So what was the outcome of that? Did he go to jail for it? Like, did he have a big sentence? What was the outcome from that?
I don't know. I don't mess with it because
right. You don't talk to him.
Mm-mm.
That's right. And so once that, and then CPS obviously got back involved at that point.
Yeah, that's when they got back involved.
And what were,
like?
Yeah, what were they saying to you like at that point?
They're like, well, he had weapons in the house. I said, so did you. And you didn't tell me that it was a bad idea because you were giving him his kids back, giving him his kids because he was in an open CPS case with his baby mama, and they were giving him the kids because his baby mama couldn't take care of the kids. So I said, you guys could have been like, hey, this isn't a good situation. You need to remove yourself out of this situation. Bottom line is, we can't give you a lot of details. Just leave. I'm thinking because CPS is giving him the children, saying, here you go, that he's a good dad. He's going to be all right for my situation, that he's going to be a good protector. No, me wrong. I was so wrong about thinking that he was going to protect us.
Right.
And that's what I was worried about is because my ex kept on breaking into my house. I moved back to Michigan, and in 2 days, he found out where I lived.
That's not good.
And he was knocking at my front door, telling me he wants to see my daughter. 2 days.
What's like? Does he have rights to see her? Does he have custody of any kind?
Now he has custody over my daughter. Like, CPS is trying to give him custody over my daughter.
Okay.
And give me visitation.
But at that point, when he's tracking you down and is demanding,
he had nothing.
He didn't have it. Okay.
He had nothing.
What did he do at that point? Did he threaten you? Did he?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I got with a man, because I'm thinking, okay, I'll have someone to protect me, and I'll have a witness if he tries to do something to me.
Gotcha.
Because he's already had my house shot up with me and the children in it.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going to keep him from breaking in this house with me and the children in it and doing bad things?
Okay. And there's no situation happening for a reason for the gun to actually be out where the child could get to the gun? It was just an accident kind of a deal, or?
Yeah, it was just an accident kind of deal. I didn't know it was there. He didn't tell me it was there, and I didn't see it.
Yeah.
So they're saying under neglect, well, even if it's an accident, that is still neglect.
Like a child endangerment, you mean?
Yeah, both.
Yeah. Was this at your house or his house?
His.
It was at his house. Okay. And you were sick, and he was there to help you, right?
No, he wasn't even there. He left me with 3 girls by myself.
Oh, gosh. Oh, wow.
He left me the night before, sick, knowing that I'm not feeling good. He said, I'll be back by 2. I'm like, be back at least by 10, because he left around 8, 9 o'clock at night. I said, be back by 10, because I'm not feeling good. I want to go to bed early, and, the girls want to stay up, and I have to get the girls to bed. It's hard to get your daughter to bed.
Sure.
And I said, I'm not her mother, so I don't discipline her. Because I'm not trying to be mean, but I don't feel that even if you were her stepmom, if you were with my baby daddy and you're her stepmom, you shouldn't be putting your hands on someone else's child.
Yeah.
That's I don't like people putting their hands on my daughter. I'm not okay with that. So for anybody to be telling my daughter what to do is a no.
Sure.
I don't care who you are. Don't tell my daughter what to do unless you're her teacher.
Right.
Or, and that's what my problem is with my daughter's dad, is his new girlfriend is pushing my daughter into the corner and grabbing her by the wrist. Why are you even touching my daughter?
Yeah.
He should be adult enough to take care of his daughter.
Right.
Or he should be leaving her with her grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know you. I don't trust people, and I don't trust strangers, especially strangers, with my children.
Yeah.
Because you hear all the time on the news, so-and-so left their son with a babysitter, and the babysitter beat the child halfway to death.
Yeah.
Or the babysitter smacked the child across the room, or let it run out in the street. At least you know it's your fault. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, yeah.
That's just how I feel about it. Don't put your hands on my kid.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be happy if somebody put their hands on my kid either.
So that's why I told him, I'm like, I don't feel comfortable being left with these kids for so long and then having to deal with problems because I don't put my hands on children. I don't touch other people's kids because I don't believe in it. I just don't. That's enough. I'm like, you're her father.
Next, what happens after they take him? The child unfortunately gets shot. They open the CPS case up again, and then what? Do they make a plan with you? Are you in classes? Like, what happens?
I don't have nothing. They won't tell me nothing that they want from me. I said, look, I've done CPR classes. I've done 2 parenting classes. I have decided to be alone for the rest of my life until my kids are 18 years old. I'm on Section 8. I'm trying to get my GED.
Good for you.
You know, what else do you want? I'm in therapy. What else do you want? The only thing I haven't given you is blood. You know, what do you want? Oh, we can't tell you. We can't tell you until the court date's over. We can't tell you what we want. Why
So,
can't you tell me?
so there is a case, obviously, because they're saying that you have whatever, but they won't tell you why or what to
Right.
do.
They won't tell me what to do.
What
At
in the
all.
world? Have you
But
tried?
if I was a drug addict and something happened to my child, they would give me a parent plan.
Yeah.
But then I'm not.
Right. So, but they haven't taken your kids away, right?
Not yet. They're finding out best interest right now if I should have my rights or not.
Okay. And what reason would not be the best interest? Like, why? What are they saying that why? What makes you such a horrible parent, or what makes you a parent?
Because she got shot.
Because okay, on your watch, technically.
Right.
Oh wow, I'm so sorry.
And like I understand that. Okay, punish me, take my kid away for a year or 2, but give me a plan. Tell me what the hell you want from me. I left him. I'm not doing anything besides for, staying at home and trying to figure out what to do with myself.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what you want. I'm like, I'm getting depressed because you guys aren't giving me a plan to do. Besides for, go for your GED. What does my education have anything to do with it?
Have you tried speaking out to a supervisor?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I begged the judge to tell me what she wanted. Well, they're supposed to be making a plan for you. No, they haven't. I was supposed to have a parent advocate in court. Guess what? I didn't get that.
No.
I still don't have a parent advocate. And it's been 3 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah, when it comes to the advocate deal, I think it's better to find your own and not use the courts or CPS as advocates. Like, go online and find your own advocate. It seems to work a lot better. Because anything that has to do with CPS, they're always going to be associated. So if CPS is bringing you the advocate, they are associated some way, somehow, and they're going to do whatever CPS, tells them to do. And that's not what you want with an advocate.
Right, and I don't know how to look that up. That's why I've been trying to reach out to everybody in the Fight CPS, because, I mean, I could understand if I was doing drugs. I could understand if I, potentially hurt this kid and it was in my name. But none of that is the fact. That's against the fact.
And all you need to do is just Google it. Just Google your area and then CPS advocate. And if you can't find it that way, if you can't figure out, message me and I'll help you find it. But I know that it's just depends on your area. It usually goes by that. And you just say, child dependency court or social services or whatever, and see where it hits, where you can, find someone who.
They gave everybody, all my mail, every mail, meaning from my exes, from my baby daddies down to my ex, all of them good attorneys. My attorney falls asleep in court. My attorney doesn't even stand up in court. They gave the females the crappy attorneys that fall asleep in court or can't hear or can't see or need something done and that need to have a surgery done. And I'm not trying to say this meanly. I understand that some things have to be done. But once you get a certain age, it's time to retire. And if you can't hear or see or understand something in court, and you're supposed to be my attorney.
Right.
What good are you?
Have you asked for a new attorney?
Yeah, they said that they're not going to give me one.
Why?
I said, I looked at the judge and I pointed to him. I said, do you see what he's doing? And she goes, what do you mean? I said, are you awake? And I looked at my attorney and I said, are you awake? He's like, oh, what's happening? What's wrong?
Oh my gosh, you're kidding.
And I pointed to him. I said, I'm like, but his attorney's not doing that.
Yeah. I was just reading the comments and it says, what kind of advocate do you, I think what you mean to say is, what can an advocate do for you? An advocate basically will be there by your side to help you with whatever you need for the court system. Like, they will tell you what kind of paperwork and documentation to get and where to get it. They'll tell you, which classes to take that'll work, that'll be, whatever, just stuff like that. That's basically what an advocate is.
I mean, I've done a CPR class since then. I've done 2 parenting classes. I went to try to do my GED, but I couldn't get transportation because I don't drive. I get really nervous about driving. I've been in 2 car accidents. So, I mean, I have a phobia of getting behind the wheel and hurting somebody because I've been ran over. I've been hit with a car, or not even a car, it was a van back in February.
You poor thing.
When COVID just started. So
they're very scary, and I understand completely what you're coming from. So what happens now? Like, what are they telling you at this point? Do you have like a court date coming up? Do you have...
I have a court date August 1st, and they said that they're waiting for best interest, and that I'm supposed to be getting overnight and unsupervised visitation and more time with my daughter. But guess what? Because I told the worker that she's been coming home saying that daddy hit me and so hit me, which is his girlfriend hit me. They're telling me that I have less time with her. Because I'm telling them what she's saying. And I said, by law, a child should not be being hit in foster care. That's illegal. You know that? I know that. And I'm like, so if you think I'm so stupid to not know my right to go and find out my rights right now, I'm not. I'm trying my best to find out all my rights and to find out what to do with these people.
Right.
And I said, I'm trying my best.
So both kids are taken away at this point, right?
Right.
Okay. And one's with mom and one's in foster care, is that what you said?
Yep. No. One's with my mom and the other one's with my her dad.
Oh, with her dad. Okay, oh, that's right. The abusive one, right?
Right.
Okay. So have they given you like any perinatal classes or drug testing, anything of the sort?
I've done all of that by myself.
That's great that you did it by yourself, but are they requiring you to do any of this yet? No, nope. They're just not telling you anything and telling you that they're just going to do what they're going to do, and they can't tell you what.
They just want to take my rights.
But they have to have a reason. They have to have a reason to take your rights.
That's the reason.
I understand, like, the gun thing, but you know what? Accidents happen, and
that's what they said the neglect law falls under.
Yeah.
It's so because you can do something non-purposely.
Like, are they gonna keep your kids forever because of one mistake? Like,
I don't know.
Got to be giving you something like to get you back with the kids. No, they're not even trying. Gosh, that's annoying. And you're not having any visits right now?
No, I have visits. I'm on my visit right now. I'm upstairs in a different room from them, so they don't hear what I'm talking about.
Okay. And you said because you went back and told the social worker about the the girlfriend or whatever that they reduced the visits?
Mm-hmm.
And what did you tell them about that? Like, what is their excuse for that?
Oh, we'll talk to them.
Like, why are you having to suffer because of it? And you were honest with them and told them, which don't ever do that again. Don't tell them anything unless you absolutely have to, because they will twist your words and turn it into something that you did not say at all.
Well, my daughter even came home with lice for 2 weeks, and I sent home, I think it's called Princess something, the little crown, the castle people for lice. I don't know what it's called. And I paid like $28 for the set, for the hair set, and they threw it out.
Really?
And I complained. I said, she's coming home with lice. She came home 2 weeks in a row with head lice. And they threw out the bottle of shampoo that I bought and the hairspray that I bought to keep the lice away at bay. So my child is not infested with lice. What are you going to do about that? She's being infested with head lice. Well, we can tell them to treat it. Well, when they're falling out of your kid's hair, you know that they have it, right?
Yeah.
I'm not the only one that thinks that way, right?
Yeah, no. And if it was the other way around and she got lice on your watch, they would make a big deal of it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm like, she's having critters fall out of her hair. And I took pictures of it and sent it to them.
Good. That's good.
And I'm like, and I'm spending 4 or 5 hours trying to clean out her hair. Because I wanted to make sure there's nothing going back to the home.
Yeah.
So they can't say, oh, well, she sent the child home with lice. No, she's coming home with lice. And I'm going through her hair for a couple of hours. Make sure there's no critters in her hair. And I'm treating her hair.
So they're allowing the visits to be at your house?
No, they're supposed to be, though.
They're supposed to be.
It's court ordered that they are allowed at my home.
What about visits between the kids?
They don't have them.
They don't get to visit with each other?
Only on my visit.
Oh. Okay. And how many days a week do you get to visit?
I visit once a week.
Just once a week?
Mm-hmm.
Have you asked for more visits and to have the more visits between the siblings?
Yeah, they said that they don't have to do that.
Oh.
I said, yeah, you do. They're supposed to have brother-sister visits, sibling visits.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they're not.
Oh, definitely.
I said my mom does it
together, and if they can't, then they're supposed to, make sure that there's lots of visits going on.
Oh, they said because they're not biologically siblings. Like they're not
So what?
They don't share the same dad.
They live
only
together
the same mom.
in the house, right?
Right.
Yeah, that makes them siblings. They're just giving you excuses so that way they don't have to.
They're only half siblings, so they don't have to visit like that. And her dad's been making a stink about it.
Wow. Okay, well, we're almost out of time here. Is there anything that you want to say before we end the show?
Make sure you watch your laws and, watch who you're with. Because even if you think it's not on you, it's still on you.
Yeah. Definitely.
Because even if those bastards tell you that, oh, well, it's his and he's the only one that can get blamed for it. No. You're the one going to get blamed too.
Yeah.
Because I even asked them before I moved in, is it okay? What if something happens? And they said that he would get in trouble. Which would be my ex, would get in trouble for having the weapons.
No, you both would. Oh, you're on mute. There you are.
Yeah, I didn't know that. They didn't tell me that ever. No one ever told me that. I even asked the U.S. Marshal, and he didn't even tell me that.
Wow.
So, like, I didn't know that.
There's definitely something weird going on with your case. Number one, they need to tell you exactly, and if it probably in writing would be better, they need to tell you exactly what their case is about, what exactly they're trying to charge you with, and what exactly their case plan is, to reunify, or if they're not trying to reunify, they need to give you something. You need to demand it. You need to try to reach out to a
They
supervisor.
already told me that they're not going to try to reunify.
They're not going to try it all, no matter what.
No.
That's not right.
And that's supposed to be their whole thing, is reunification and trying to put the families back together. That's what they're supposed to. I'm not saying they're doing.
Is telling you this? Is the worker telling you this, or the judge telling you this? Who's telling you this? Your lawyer?
What? That they're not looking for unification?
They're not going to let you reunify, yeah.
At first, it was the CPS worker telling me that she's not going to do unification.
Okay. It's not up to her. It's up to
Then when they filed, they said that they didn't want unification. They wanted to take my rights.
Okay. It sounds like you need to talk to a better lawyer, because that's just a recommendation. And what I didn't know with my cases until like years later is that the social worker can make a recommendation to the court, and it's our job to fight that recommendation. It's our job to show the courts whether that's true or not. And they don't tell you that. They just make you believe that whatever the social worker says goes. And it's
the social worker keeps on saying it's my gun in court.
But it's licensed and registered to him, right?
Right. I don't even have a registry. I don't even have a license to carry.
So you need to fight. You need to really fight, because they're fucking you over right now.
And they're like, well, because you were in the house, you should have knew.
Well,
I'm like, well, you're going to check. You have 3 little kids running around. Your body's acting up, and you're going to check every little square of the house.
Right.
I don't think that's even going to be possible.
Right.
And we're not talking about just like, kids age. I'm talking about toddlers. The cat ate it. So,
if I were you, I would go to the courthouse and go to the public defender's office and demand to speak with somebody higher up and explain this to them, that they're telling you that there's no reunification option, you're not getting enough visits, and the attorney that you had is sleeping in court, and just let them know that none of this is.
I called Governor Whitmer and told her.
And how did that go?
She said that I shouldn't even have her people said that I shouldn't even have this case.
Right.
That's what her people said.
Did her people give you any advice on how to get this case taken away?
They said call the main CPS place, and I told the main CPS place what they're doing, and they're like, well, we can't talk about court.
They're not gonna do shit for you. CPS, no matter what, if it has to do with CPS, they're not on your side at all. They're not going to help you.
That's what they told me to call.
That's what they told me to call. Maybe because they didn't realize, because a lot of people don't necessarily understand this whole system unless you really, really have been in it or spent a long time. And that sounds like the right thing to do. Yeah, absolutely. But it's not in this situation. It's not. You need to get an attorney who's going to fight for you. And remember, even the public defenders are in the same bed as everybody else who's in that courtroom. They're all working together.
Well, yeah, I know that. And I've yelled at my attorney. I'm like, look, you need to stop trying to sacrifice me.
I would ask for a different attorney. A conflict of interest, your attorney's yelling at you, you're yelling at them, sleeping, at least try. Because they're not, they shouldn't be able to just completely take away all your rights because of this. They should be giving you an option of like reunification somehow.
And I told the judge, I said, look, I left him. I'm not living in his house. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get my stuff together because, I became homeless after this happened because I didn't want to go back to that home. And I sure as hell wasn't about to go back to him.
Yeah.
So what is my only option is to be homeless. And they waited 2 months before even filing. 2 months. And the CPS worker withheld illegally, I think it's illegal, took my children out of the homes that they were placed in and told them that, or they didn't take them, but they told them not to let them contact me.
Not to let them contact who?
Contact me, like that I'm not supposed to talk to the children, that I can't go and visit my children, even though there was no court papers filed.
Yeah.
They just
You really would do well with an advocate here. I know not everybody can afford a good attorney, but you definitely got to at least try to get a different public defender here because they're totally screwing you right now.
Well, I already told them I'm appealing this case.
Yeah.
Appeal is definitely in the answer because they're even going against my religion, which is where I believe the man is supposed to run the household and pay the bills and make sure everything's running like it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm supposed to be home with the kids. But they're also supposed to make sure that I'm healthy enough to take care of the kids. Not that, I'm in pain and I need to go to the doctors. But I'm healthy enough.
Mm-hmm. Well,
if that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate you sharing your story. It's a crazy one. Love it if you could come back and update us and let us know what happens. I'm really curious to know how this goes. Don't let them screw you over because right now they are. They totally are. They're working.
That's what a lot of people are saying.
Yes. Stand up and fight them. Even though they tell you no, you can't, don't believe it. Just look and fight as much as you can until there is no fight anymore.
Right. Because they keep on saying that they're going to give my daughter, to my abuser. And now he's putting his hands on her. And he used to put his hands on me and leave marks on me. What's going to keep him? My daughter looks almost just like me. So what's going to keep him from doing the same thing?
Have you already uploaded those documents to the court for this case?
With the mark?
Yeah, the abuse. Any abuse that you've had with him before?
I did talk to the what are they called? The interviewer.
Okay, the investigative worker?
No, they said that she's an interviewer.
Oh, okay.
I guess there's someone to make sure that you're stable enough to have the kids.
Okay. But to have those documents submitted into the court case, like
I tried and they won't take them.
What do you mean they won't take them?
They will not take them.
You just
entered them at the beginning.
With the papers, and you tell them, look, here's their case number. I want you to put these onto the records, and they'll do it. Okay. So, attorney or somebody.
I kept on giving my attorney
Yeah, see, that's why I'm telling you need to get a better attorney, a different attorney.
I even gave my attorney the papers saying that I had to have surgery on my stomach to make me feel better. I gave them.
Upload those into the file.
They said that there's no excuse for it.
No, that's why you need to get it. Yeah, you definitely need to get a different attorney because they're not helping you at all. At all. You should have been able to submit that onto the records, into the files for the judge to be able to see that. And the reason why they're not is because it's going to go against them and they want to try to make this an open closed deal and that's it. So you really have got to just stand up and fight them. And even when they knock you down, you got to just get back up and keep trying because you shouldn't be in this situation right now. It doesn't check out.
Right, and then I told them that I've been talking to people about it, and they said that it shouldn't be going on. Well, you need to stop talking to people that are off the streets about it because I'm open about my case and how it went down.
Right.
And they don't know what they're talking about because those are people that are on the street. And you're getting the best deals that you can get right now.
Don't let them talk to you like that.
I'm like, well, Sabrina's getting hit. Or, sorry,
It's okay.
my daughter's getting hit, and I'm very concerned about it. And with her condition from birth, that should be looked upon and frowned upon
Yeah.
because no one's ever hit my daughter. Like someone there, I was in her preschool, and one of her classmates pushed her down, and I looked right at the teacher and I said, "Are you gonna do something about it, or am I gonna trip? Which one are we gonna do?" And she's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "He just pushed my daughter down, and she hit the metal door. And you need to tell him to either be careful, watch out for other people, or don't be pushing people. Take care of it." I said, "I already told the school board lady, the person that ran the school board, that if I admit my daughter into their school, that if anything happens to my daughter, I'm going to be highly mad. And I will be on the I'm calling the cops situation." And she looked at me and she's like, "Oh, yeah, I remember you having a conversation with blah, blah, blah before blah, blah, blah joined the school." I'm like, "Yeah, you think that was a joke or something?" I wasn't joking. I don't want my daughter being hit. I don't want no one pushing her, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Any violent acts, period. And she's like, "Well, I didn't see it happen or I would have said something." I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm taking my daughter to the hospital to make sure she's okay." And I did.
Yeah. And they didn't call CPS on you at that point?
No, because I told them where I came from, and I said, "I'll call the school right now. I don't care. I'll call the school and let them know that, my daughter's been hit." I mean, it's so crazy. I had to call CPS on myself. I'll admit, I called CPS on myself because my son came home from school with a footprint on his face. Now, I called the school. "Oh, there's nothing we can do." I said, "Well, I'm not going to take the blame for this. You are not hitting me up on this. Y'all, So I called them and I said, he came back from school with a shoe print on his face. I don't know how long it's going to be there for. I'm just letting y'all know that it came from the school."
And what did they say?
They had a worker come out, and the worker talked to the school and told them, "Look, you can't be letting other students step or hit other students because this is a serious matter." And they told her not to be letting that happen. They shamed her.
And besides that, did the social workers do anything else about it?
They just shamed her and told her not to let it happen. But I made sure that it was on record.
I don't ever recommend calling CPS on yourself. I know, like, it's one of those cases where it's like, well, I'm not in the wrong and this is wrong, what's happening to me. But they're just so corrupt and crooked that it could screw your whole entire world.
Well, they're trying to look into that reason why I called CPS. And, "Oh, you called CPS?" "Yeah, because someone stepped on my kid." I didn't know who else to call.
Yeah. Well, thank you so very much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it, and I really look forward to an update. So please let us know how everything goes. This is Fight CPS with Sabrina. You guys all have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Next time, Glenn, you go outside. You're fucking loud. God.
You tell her to fire your attorney.